Hey guys, what's going on? It's Pilot Manny with the RC Playing Addict. I want to welcome you to my channel, a place where I get to share my passion and addiction for flying these RC planes. So, I'm really excited today. Today we're going to go at it again. Check it out. I got the Mark II Mustang Flite Test Master Series. I haven't painted it, obviously. In case you didn't see the Maiden of the Mark I, this is it. Going up, 3/4 throttle, into the wind. Woo, going up. Whoa. All right, so very pitchy already. Can't seem to bank it around very well. Ugh. Lost it. So, as you can see, I'm being a little cautious on this run. I did a few changes that I hope will improve my success rates, if not at least get me a plane that I can recover without the aid of someone else. But let's talk about what I've done. All right, so first things first, the prop is a 10 by 4.5, which came with the C pack. So it's not as pitchy as the prop I was using before, which was also a 10, but I believe it was a 10 by 7. So I'm hoping that the torque roll will be lessened by the pitch. I could be terribly wrong about that. Also, I've added in a little bit of thrust angle to the right. So this plane on the first version wanted to pull heavily to the left. It had a heavy torque roll to the left. I'm hoping to counter that with some thrust angle going to the left as well. In addition, I took very extra special care to line up my rudder and my ailerons, or excuse me, and my elevator to square it as best as I could with the fuselage. So as you can see, it may not be exactly down the line. There may be a little bit of a tilt, but I'm hoping it won't be a problem. There hasn't really been much else done here. I did dial in the rates as spec'd by John Overstreet, which I believe are 12 degrees all around. So I did that, and I'm going to be taking off in low rates today, as opposed to the high rates that I was trying to take off with the Mark I. And I'm really hoping here that this will make this plane less pitchy, more controllable, and when I throw it up, I'm really hoping that the torque roll just doesn't take it to the ground like it did in the first one. I did balance the battery perfectly. I put little dots here on my wings to show that that is, I believe it's 3 centimeters, which doesn't sound right, but it was the appropriate CG for this plane, so I'm really hoping that does it. And if this thing flies like I'm hoping it will, then I'll go ahead and give it the proper paint job it deserves. I have the decals at home, so I'm saving all of that until I know that this thing's going to fly. One last thing that I did do on the inside, instead of using the plywood, the standard plywood that I had for my home, I actually did find some hobby grade plywood at the local hobby store hidden in the back. So the wing is much lighter than the first version's wing. So I am going to be using a 3000 milliamp hour 4-cell pack in this bad boy, and it's going to be, well, let me put it in, I'll show you where it's going to be. All right, so got my 3000 milliamp hour, and I'm hoping you can see I'm going to put this thing right up against this wall here, so it'll be like lined up pretty much right there. I have the, I believe it's the soft on the inside, yeah. So I'm gonna kind of just drop this, tuck it in there the best I can, and she'll be basically right there. So that's where the perfect CG is for this bad boy. All right, let's plug it in, let's see how she sounds. All right, sounds good. I have my little canopy hatch here, battery hatch, accessory hatch, whatever you like to call it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Also, on the center ridding, I did reinforce it and with some packing tape and with zip ties to really hold those servos in place. So just checking control surfaces. That should be up, that should be down, that should be left, that should be right, excellent. That should be left, and that should be right. And everything looks pretty good there. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna put a little bit of right roll. So it looks like it's a little bit off, but I can adjust that later. Right, left, okay. And remember, everything's on low rates here, so nothing too crazy here. Okay, everything looks good. Fire up the motor. She sounds good. I gotta be honest with you, it's not really much power in it, but anyways, there's a 4-cell. I promise you that much. Maybe I need to hold it. Let's see. Oh yeah. That sounds like she's got some punch. All right. Yeah, it looks good. All right, let's take some quick pictures here. Pictures before I lose her. I shouldn't be saying those things out loud. You're gonna fly great today. I know you are. Do. All right. Looks good, looks good, looks good. I'm excited. All right, so I have 5 minutes on the timer. I did run it right now, so 4 minutes and 57 seconds. Get my specs on. I apologize if the plane gets to a point where we can't see it. I'll do my best to digital zoom on this bad boy. Whew, I am nervous. This is crazy. You shouldn't be this nervous when flying airplanes. That shouldn't be a thing. But I guess when you build these bad boys and you spend a little bit of time, you kind of tend to value. See, she is definitely slightly nose heavy, but not like by much. So I definitely know that she's right where it needs to be. So I'm happy with that. I'm really hoping I get a predictable flight here. Otherwise I might lose my mind. Everything would be easier if I had a friend to throw, but you know what? I'm gonna go for it. We're gonna go for it. All right, throttle cut is off. She's got some juice. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, I'm gonna give this bad boy a hard pitch. We're gonna go off in this direction this time. That way, if she tends to take off left, at least I have all that field over there to kind of deal with instead of, well, we don't even want to talk about that. Wind's kind of coming in at a cross angle, but that's okay. All right, let's see. One more last check. Up, down, up. Good. Left, right, good. Left, and right. Excellent. Okay. Let's do it. Going up. 3/4 throttle, straight up. And we're flying, kids. Okay. So definitely needs some roll and some down trim. I'm gonna kind of keep it at about half throttle just so I can trim it. Whew. I am shaking. It's not even right. Oh, she needs a lot of trim. All right, that's hands off. Looks pretty straight to me. Let's bring it around. Still needs a little down. I gotta tell you, this thing flies really slow. Really slow, like floating. I'm at like half throttle, a little under half, and she's just, I'm not trying to stall it by any means, but I'm just looking at this thing the way it flies, and it's got like really interesting characteristics. So I also, if you don't know, have the Spitfire Master Series, and it's got a much bigger and beefier motor, but I don't remember the Spitfire floating like this. This thing just floats. I am flying on low rates, and I was so happy to see that the torque roll on this thing, it didn't take it too much. It actually shot straight up, which is a good indicator. Remember, I do have a much less pitchier prop, and I did bring my 10x7 to try out. Oh, this plane flies great. Oh, what a difference. Let's chop the throttle. Yeah, so she drops the nose right away. But look at the float. Look at the float. Huh. Got a little close. We're not gonna play that game anymore. Yeah, very, very floaty plane. I know I keep saying that word. I need to like get a new word here. So definitely not like a speedster. This is more like, you know, hey guys, look at my Mustang. I'm part of the Mustang club. I'm gonna go nice and slow for you. As soon as I chop that throttle though, she just drops a nose pretty fast. I mean, like, I'm holding the throttle here, or the elevator for a little back, but she basically just wants to come straight down. Okay, let's give it a little more throttle. Let's be a little more aggressive with this bad boy. Oof, I don't know if it's the heat that's making me uncomfortable or what. And she still wants to climb with throttle. And I wonder if that's because... Actually, I don't even know what that's because. Bring it down. She's flying great. I haven't punched it yet. I'm not going too crazy with it just yet. I just want to make sure she's stable in flight. And I know you're probably like, Pilot Manny, it's totally stable. Just freaking kick its butt. No, I'm not going to do it just yet. I want to get at least a few flights in before I completely wreck this plane. Oh, another thing, it's like 90 degrees out, and I'm not 100% certain how hot glue holds up in 90-degree weather, but if we start to see some seams pop, we know we're flying and it's way too hot out for this thing. So I'm not trying to do any inverted flight. I'm not trying to do any loops or rolls or anything of the such just yet. I really, really want to just see how she kind of takes turns, coordinated turns, if she climbs at all. I mean, like, it seems to be really happy just flying at like around half throttle, to be honest with you. There goes my minute timer. I know I got plenty of time, but you know what? Because I do want to do some math on this, just to see how long I can get of a flight on this plane, I think I'm going to bring it around. I should probably also practice my landings. So I got a little bit of height. I'm going to kind of chop my throttle, start getting it down. Okay, so throttle off. All these bugs are killing me today. She floats, man. I love that about this plane. And whoa. All right, I'll take it. Successful Maiden, peoples. Woo! Wow, look at the deflection on those ailerons though. Look at this, look at this. I mean, that's how it was flying. So something is definitely not level or straight or true. I don't know however you want to say it, because it shouldn't have to fly level with that much deflection in the ailerons. I mean, like, do you see this? This is like, it's pretty intense. So let's take it back. I want to check the battery. I want to see how much battery I used. The timer has 30 seconds on it, so that means that was 4.5 minutes of power being used. All right. Ooh, a little rough. A little rough. All right. I'm not certain how much weight the paint adds. I mean, I know it definitely adds weight to everything that I do, but I mean, this plane is so light right now. All right, so let's see here. We got, whoops, 4.5 minutes and 71% left on that battery. So that's incredible. I do have a charging station over here. I think I'm gonna throw this battery on the charger just to like get it all the way up. And I'm gonna throw another pack in here, and I'm gonna change out the prop and put in that more aggressive prop and see how she does. All right, I got the new APC 10x7 prop here. I gotta be honest with you, this motor was like pretty warm, if not somewhat hot to the touch when I changed out that prop. So it may have been the 4-cell, but I mean, I really wasn't like doing anything to it to kick its butt. I can't get over the deflection for neutral flight with these ailerons. You know, if you're watching this and you have any idea of why I need so much deflection, please leave a comment below, because I don't think I've ever had a plane with this much like deflection for neutral flight. It's not something's definitely not centered for some strange reason. Anyways, all right, I mean, I know when there's like deflection like that, it's kind of taking away from the speed of the plane because obviously the surfaces are engaged. Whatever. All right. So we're going up for flight 2. I'm really sorry about the long video, guys, but I gotta be honest with you. I think you deserve it, especially after that those terrible maidens on that last one. That was just god awful. So, and also I'm, testing this plane out on different propeller setups. So here is the 10x7. Check my flight surfaces again. Low rates all around. Yep, everything still looks good. Everything's responding pretty well. All right. I'm gonna kind of run up the motor real quick here, make sure she turns. Yeah, she already sounds like she's got more punch. Okay, let's take her out. Apologize about that sun. It's just, it seems to be getting lower and lower in my face. Can't do anything about that. Okay. I'm gonna give her a good hard chuck straight up again. And about half throttle, a little bit more, and hopefully we'll be all right. Okay, 5 minutes on the timer again. Let's give her a go. Man, I can't, whoa. Can't get over how light this thing is. It's so light. All right, going up. I mean, can you guys tell the difference, like from before, like that crazy torque roll that used to happen? She goes up, and like once she gets speed under those wings, it's like completely just a different animal altogether. I can't even explain it, honestly. Clearly I did something different. So while I'm flying this, I should tell you that I did use all of the original templates that I had used to make the Mark 1. So this plane essentially is the same frame that I used for the first P51 that I built. Again, the only real differences that I did to this plane, I explained at the beginning of the video, which were, making sure that tail was nice and lined up, making sure that, I had different materials, the spec'd out materials for the wings, and that thrust angle. That thrust angle, I honestly believe the thrust angle is making a difference right now. I know when I spoke to Overstreet, he was like, no, this is a no-frills plane, you don't need no thrust angle. But, I mean, come on. There's got to be thrust angle. Like, that's a real thing. I'm not making it up. I'm not, I swear. So already I can tell this plane definitely has a little bit more punch because of that propeller. She climbs pretty well. There's my loop. Super slow. I mean, those low rates are just ridiculously slow on any kind of roll. And that's okay. You know what? I'm not about to destroy this plane just yet. I'm still learning, as I say. I do love this plane. It really, on these low rates, it flies really scale. Like, just coordinating the turns are so nice. She doesn't drop any wings. And you know what? Why don't we take it up and just see what the stall's like? I'm always very interested in like these flight test planes. What happens when you stall them out, because that's a real testament to just the airframe and the design on this plane. Some drop a wing, some do some crazy things. So okay, I'm gonna chop the throttle. I'm a few mistakes high. I'm gonna slow it down. There's really no wind, and I'm just gonna start holding back pressure on the elevator to really stop it. Full up. Yeah, just okay. So you saw it drop the wing, and it nose down a little bit. So I think that's pretty much what you're gonna get with any warbird. No surprise there. I'm happy to see that the hot glue hasn't given up in the heat yet. I'm not kidding when I tell you guys it's like 90 degrees. It's really freaking hot. I would really like to see a stronger roll, maybe. Okay, so I kicked the ailerons into high rate just to see if I can get a better roll out of it. I'm gonna turn it around just so we can kind of see it. I'm still a few mistakes high. Give it a little bit of throttle. Still super slow on the roll. And she's not fast. I mean, I could definitely tell the difference in the power from the Spitfire. listen, at this point, I mean, that's all modifiable. I just needed a frame that was gonna fly. And that last one, man, I just can't get over the disaster that plane was. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is the way I like it. Uneventful. I mean, I know, like, you know, when I say it's uneventful, it sounds like a bad thing, but I mean, when it's uneventful, that usually means that, like, you know, the construction was true. The plane can fly, and that's what we want, right? We want a plane that can fly. When you have an eventful, like, why is it flying away from me? That's a real problem. All right, there was my minute timer, so I got 4 minutes left. I'm just gonna kind of slowly circle back around and bring her back in. I think I like this 10x7 prop, but I gotta be honest with you, I don't know what kind of pressure it's putting on that motor. And that motor was hot when I brought it in with that 10x4.5. So, all right. So right now she's at like 20% throttle. Just kind of bringing it in nice and slow. And chop and throttle. Ooh. Oof. When she hits that ground, I feel like something's gonna rip off. Like, I'm actually nervous about that air scoop. And I'm really not coming in hard. I mean, you guys can see how slow I'm coming in, but like that scoop on the bottom has got to be taking some, like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it looks good. I think I'm gonna have to reinforce it though with some tape though, just so that because I mean, you can see already grass like marking it up. It's definitely getting at it. And just so you know, I did run like a bead of glue around the edging of that foam board, just so that I know it's not going to pick up after you know, a little bit of time. But with that many landings, if I do fly it as much as I fly my other planes, it'll definitely start to wear out on me. But she's still pretty good. She's still pretty good. Not bad. All right, so let me touch this bad boy. Wow, that is all right. Yeah, you can cook an egg on that motor, friends. That's a hot motor. Okay, so I'm gonna have to take this prop off, unfortunately. You know, like when your motor gets that hot, you're only asking for a problem over the long run. Burned out bearings, burned out in whatever's in there, just, you don't want it. So I mean, I'm not even kidding, that's really, really hot. So I'm gonna take this prop off. I'm gonna put back the 10x4.5, and we're gonna leave it at that. All right, let's check out this battery. This is like, I don't know why I get excited about checking batteries. Is that weird? I also lose my battery checker like constantly. All right. 72% left on that battery. So the consumption was about the same for both flights with different props, and this one was flown just 4 seconds less than the last flight. So yeah, they were using the energy just about as efficiently, equally, even though this one was, you know, much more pitchy. I don't know. Go figure. All right, guys. Well, I'm really, really happy we had a successful flight. I really hope you enjoyed that video. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Leave me some comments, especially on the ailerons. Talk to me, you know, if you can, about why in the world would I need so much just adjustments, just trim to the right like that. I mean, like, it doesn't even look like, not even near center. It flew great, you saw it, but I mean, I don't know. Something to improve on in the future, maybe with Mark III if I ever get there. Or when I crack this one up, who knows? All right, guys, if you want to see more of this content, subscribe. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Thumbs up if you like it. Share it with friends. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.